So I wanted to end this little movie review-a-thon before I got back into D&D by talking about one of my all-time favorite fantasy movies. Something that is incredibly dear to my heart. From the moment I first saw it, it became just the greatest thing ever, right? And that is DragonSlayer. A movie I did not know about earlier on. Something I found that was just kind of a diamond in the rough sort of deal, you know? Something that I had stumbled upon. And I had wished that I had seen the movie a lot earlier, although if I had, maybe I would have had a different opinion on it than I do now, being younger and all. But, I saw this movie, and it was just. It was better than awesome. It was fantastic. You know, it. This movie will always be among my top 10 as far as all movies are concerned, and probably my all-time favorite fantasy movie ever. So this movie takes place in a land ruled by a king, and where the king has made some sort of boont or pact with this dragon that kind of has tyrannical reign over the land because of the power, of course, in which the dragon naturally wields. And nobody can really stand up to this thing, and countless people have tried and have horribly failed in the past. So the king and his dragon have some sort of pact in which I am pretty sure was actually made before the king's rule, like by the king's father, who's the prior king, something along those lines. But the pact is simply this. Every what was it? I think it's season. I'm not too sure. But every monarch. What am I trying to say here? After a certain amount of time has passed, let's just keep it simple, okay? After a certain amount of time has passed, there is a raffle in which the king holds, right? And it is a raffle to see whose daughter is to be sacrificed to this dragon. I don't know why, really. Um, you know, I guess the dragon kind of gets off on that. Later on, you find that the dragon um, has been feeding the recent sacrificees to younger dragons in which it has, but it's like that couldn't have been like a thing for like generations, you know? It's that's always struck me as something kind of recent where it now recently has had kids. There's not more than one dragon, so I can only assume that it goes off the asexual reproduction thing. It's never really made too clear, but you know it doesn't matter really. The point is these girls are being raffled off to be sacrificed to this dragon, and the king has a daughter as well, and he has had her under the belief that she is a part of the raffle for the longest time. Of course, this is not true, and you know later on she finds out, and she puts her name in there, and it's a thing. So while this is all going on, a young warrior, along with a group of people, go to seek out the aid of this wizard, because this wizard is one of the very last wizards on this earth that they're on, this, you know, in this land. And he has, they're hoping that he has the power to, take care of this dragon. And you find out that this young warrior is, of course, a girl in disguise, so that she doesn't get raffled off. And that's somewhat of a reveal that comes early on in the movie, so I wouldn't even worry about the spoilers. And even so, I don't care about spoilers. So, yeah, no. So she goes to beseech this wizard for help. At the same time, the king sends his general, who is this despicable piece of garbage, to thwart their attempts after learning about this plan to seek out the wizard. The general goes and kills the wizard because their whole thing is, what if the wizard fails? What if they agitate the dragon and cause more problems? A lot of what they do is out of pretty much this generalization of overwhelming fear that everybody in the land has, and let's just face it, the king is kind of a Weasley character, and to his detriment, he cares a lot about his daughter, but not a whole lot about anybody else, really. And the general is in it for the power trip, mostly. So, the wizard dies, and the wizard's apprentice must take up the mantle and help these people out, or he has taken it upon himself to help these individuals out. And the majority of the movie is about waging war on this dragon and trying new things to try and kill it. And it honestly, it's really good. I mean, really good. For instance, one of the first things that he tries is when the dragon is sleeping in its cave, he tries to collapse the mountain down in on the cave to either crush it, or if not, to crush it to make it the dragon's permanent tomb. Unfortunately, of course, that doesn't work, clearly, and it's just kind of a back and forth kind of thing. And there's magic, and there's innovative, sort of strategy involved. At one point in time, he has a shield made for him out of the dragon's scales, so that when he goes down there in order to confront the dragon head on in its cave and save one of the girls, so that when the dragon breathes fire on him, it hopefully won't burn him, and it turns out to be the case. So, but yeah, he has a dragon shield. This shield made out of dragon scales, and it's pretty awesome. And he's he's got this spear that it's made out of something in particular that can pierce the dragon. I can't remember what. God damn, I gotta watch the movie again. I've just kind of been really busy with this move that we've been doing, and work, of course, and life in general. But It's more so the smaller details that I don't, you know, really remember. The spear is made out of something in particular that allows him to pierce the dragon's hide. And man, all this just results in this culmination of just a wonderful fucking fantasy adventure, you know? And it's really great. And just really great. And this was a movie that was made in like the 1980s, you know, like it's really awesome. There's even a part in the movie, not to, give too much away, because although I don't necessarily care about spoilers, I would prefer you go to, and find the movie and watch it yourself and kind of discover a majority of it for yourself for the first time going into, watching it. But there's a part in the movie where the guy who plays Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars, okay, Lord Sidious, he's this high priest figure, and he's bringing the world of Christianity into the land and the people of the land, and he is convinced, and he convinces a whole group of other people that the dragon is the symbolic representation of the devil, and that the power of their belief will, in fact, slay the dragon. And so they go over to this dragon's, where this dragon lives, his, and they purposely piss this fucking dragon off, and it comes out of the ground, and there's this moment, where you get this oh shit moment, right, from Emperor Palpatine. I don't remember what his name is in the movie. I just call him Emperor Palpatine. But there's this oh shit moment from Emperor Palpatine right before the dragon just incinerates him. It's great. Yeah, no, great movie. Of course, there's the final standoff between the evil General Dickhead and, the young hero of the tale. The first time I ever saw it, I kid you not, I thought the hero was like a young teenager Richard Simmons, because that's kind of what he looks like. But I was wrong. I know it's not Richard Simmons. And in fact, I'm going to look it up real quick here. Because it wasn't Richard Simmons, and I remember I had to look it up beforehand as well. Yeah, it's Peter McDowell. Very young Peter McDowell. And the lead actress is Catherine Clark? I believe I'm pronouncing that right. And it's DragonSlayer from 1981, to be more specific. And it is fantastic. Highly recommend it. It really is just a treasure of a movie. So yeah, absolutely 100% check it out. It's a fantastic movie.